Shalom, shalom. I got a video I want y'all to see, family. Evidence is coming out. I'm telling y'all about biblical proof of the Exodus, and it's coming out in a major way. I don't know if it's going over everybody's head, but I've been seeing a lot of it. So, but just peep this.
Interesting is the name Nuweiba. Like I said, this name right here, Nuweiba, Egypt, is short for what? It's short for this name right here, Nuweiba al-Muzayina, which means, it means the waters of Moses opening. This is amazing. And the exact spot where the crossing took place, we have the site confirmed by maps, because that's the crossing route. This is Nuweiba, Egypt. This is the Gulf of Aqaba, and this is the side of Saudi Arabia, as you can see on the map. And you can keep going on with the pictures, the view of Red Sea, but what I want to really focus your attention to as well is the chariot wheels that were found in the sea at Nuweiba. Is that a coincidence? They even took pictures and found actual chariot wheels. Above, chariot wheels fixed to axles, standing at attention on this seabed. You can see them right here. You can see one right here as well, and another right there. Above left, photo taken of a gilded chariot wheel that remains on the seafloor. It was found by Ron Wyatt using a molecular frequency generated from his boat above after he set the equipment to search for gold. The Bible said all the chariots of Egypt and 600 choice chariots of gold veneered models were in the army pursuing Yahuwah Elohim's people. It is speculated there were 20,000 chariots destroyed that day. Above right is a drawing of a four-spoke chariot found in an Egyptian tomb from the same time period. 4, 6, and 8 spoke wheels are found here in the Gulf and were only used at the same time during the 13th dynasty, or 1446 BC, when the Exodus took place. But do they want you to know that? Why are they hiding this from you should be the question. Why don't they want you to know this? There were numerous chariot wheels plus human and horse bones at the crossing site. Above on right is a human femur bone that is covered by coral and was tested at Stockholm University. It is from the right leg of a man 365 to 170 centimeters tall. It is basically mineralized by resting in the Red Sea for 3,500 years. And we see more of coral covering chariot wheels on a vertical axle that is buried in the sand. Although this is a typical, Bill Fry found this within 10 minutes of searching at Nuweiba. So case in point, you can find these chariot wheels in Nuweiba, Egypt. Oh, but you probably still think they're photoshopped. You probably still think this is a lie. It's time to wake up now. It goes on to say that Ron Wyatt found this wheel with the raised center hub. A common marker is the raised center hub that will give a metal reading when tested. And of course, this is how they tested it and how they were able to see it, and the footage that they used. And what did they see? They see more chariot wheels were found, possibly connected to an axle. Notice the raised center hub. It is against the law to anchor a boat, so we were floating by this as the image was shot by the ROV. And it says above is a horse's hoof that is shrunken since drying out. Horses are not found in the Sinai Peninsula today. The fake one, I wonder why. So the conclusion, Mount Sinai is definitely in Saudi Arabia for sure, and not the Sinai Peninsula, because they're lying to you. But it says again, above, a round chariot wheel found off the Gulf of Aqaba coast of Saudi Arabia, opposite of Nuweiba, Egypt. And you can see the photo courtesy Vivica Ponton. And it goes on, and we see another chariot wheel next to it, and it goes on and even has a documentary. I'm going to leave the links below so you can see it for yourself. And please do the research on this on your own, and then come to your own conclusions. But for all you skeptics out there, yes, the Exodus is real. It is true. Egyptians have even written about the Exodus, and I'm going to tell you and prove to you just what I'm talking about. I'm going to turn your attention now to what's called the Ipuwer Papyrus, which is an ancient papyrus that was taken from Egypt and actually just so happened to quite well document the Exodus quite well, and has many specific mentions of the Exodus. And I'm going to leave the link for this below too, but it says in the early 19th century, a papyrus dating from the end of the Middle Kingdom was found in Egypt. It was taken to the Leiden Museum in Holland and interpreted by A.H. Gardner in 1909. The complete papyrus can be found in the book admonitions of an Egyptian from a hieratic papyrus in Leiden. The papyrus describes violent upheavals in Egypt, starvation, drought, escape of slaves with the wealth of the Egyptians, and death throughout the land. The papyrus was written by an Egyptian named Epur and appears to be an eyewitnessing account of the effects of the Exodus plagues from the perspective of an average Egyptian. Below are excerpts from the papyrus together with their parallels in the book of Exodus. And if you want a lengthier discussion of the papyrus and the historical background of the Exodus, see Jewish Action Spring 1995 article by Brad Aronson entitled When Was the Exodus? Of course, be very careful because, so-called Jews, they do lie because the real Jews are so-called black people. But anyway, let's keep going. It says, Epur Papyrus, Leiden 344. It says, according to 2, verse 5 and 6, plague is throughout the land, blood is everywhere. 2:10, the river is blood. Men shrink from tasting human beings and thirst after water. That is our water. That is our happiness. What shall we do in respect thereof? All is ruined, which happens to match a bunch of what the Torah says in Exodus or Shamut, chapter 7, verses 20 to 24, where it says, all of the rivers of the water returned to blood. There was blood throughout all the land of Egypt, and the river stank. And all the Egyptians dug around the water for river to drink, for they could not drink of the water of the river. And you still think that this is a fake? You better wake up. But then, like I said, you can match it from in the Torah and what Exodus says. And here's chapters 9 and 10. But it goes on to say, for in the Epur Papyrus, pursued gates, columns, and walls are consumed by fire. Lower Egypt weeps. The entire palace is without its revenues. To it belong by right wheat and barley, geese and fish. Forsooth, grain has perished on every side. Forsooth, that has perished which was yesterday seen. The land is left over to its weariness like the cutting of flax. Then it says, all animals their hearts weep, cattle moan. Behold, cattle are left to stray, and there is none to gather them together. And this is, of course, the equivalent in Shamut, in Exodus chapter 9, where it says, the hand of Yahuwah is upon thy cattle which is in the field, and there shall be a very grievous sickness. Gather thy cattle and all that thou hast in the field. And he that did not fear the word of Yahuwah left his servants and cattle in the field. The land is without light, according to the Epur Papyrus, and according to the Torah in Shamut chapter 10, verses 22. And there was a thick darkness in all the land of Mitzrayim, or Egypt. And it goes on to say, forsooth, the children of princes are dashed against the walls. Forsooth, the children of princes are cast out in the streets. The prison is ruined. He who places his brother in the ground is everywhere. It is groaning throughout the land, mingled with lamentations. And according to Shamut, or Exodus chapter 12, it says, and it came to pass that at midnight Yahuwah smote all the firstborn in the land of Mitzrayim, or Egypt, from the firstborn of Pharaoh that sat on his throne to the firstborn of the captive that was in the prison. There was not a house where there was not one dead. There was a great cry in Egypt, just like as the papyrus says, there was groaning throughout the land. And mind you, this Epur Papyrus, this is an actual document. It's real. It is a real document. This is by an actual Egyptian who had first-hand account of the Exodus. So we know it's not a lie. It's the truth. It actually happened. But it goes on to say in the Epur Papyrus, behold, the fire has mounted up on high. Its burning goes forth against the enemies of the land. And then in Exodus chapter 13, verses 21, it says, by day in a pillar of cloud to lead them the way, and by night in a pillar of fire to give them light, to go by day and night. Wow. And then it says, gold and lapis lazuli, silver and malachite, carnelian and bronze are fastened on the neck of female slaves. And then this says in Exodus chapter 12, verses 35 to 36, and they requested from the Egyptians silver and gold articles and clothing, and Yahuwah Elohim made the Egyptians favor them, and they granted their request. The Israelites thus drained Egypt of its wealth. Here we are at another source, and this is according to the Messianic Literary Corner, where it also